Hello, and welcome back. Stop what you're doing. Sit down. Go to sleep. Shave your head.
Go to sleep!
Welcome back to Through Imperial, our weekly news show where we talk about the Star Wars news. I'm your host, Braydon Leadbetter.
I'm your co-host, Jackson Daleen.
And we're back. We are 100% finished with the Bad Batch until next season. If you want to check out that review of the finale we just dropped, just go ahead and check that out on our podcast feed. Yes, it was one of our... We talked about the episode and we also talked about the season as a whole a little bit, so go ahead and check that out too. But let's kind of get into some of our Star Wars life adventures news. What's been going on for the past week or so?
Not a whole lot for me. More life stuff. I'm officially legally bound to this house. I've signed the lease for that, so yeah. So every hole I put in the wall to hang my Star Wars gear up, I now have to pay for. Not really, but like,
you just gotta put some spackle on there.
If it's too much damage, I will. But no, they're cool with
some
it.
Spackle on there.
Not a whole lot. I'm going to Saga Toys Sunday, so I'll have more next week to kind of discuss about that.
Yeah. Well, speaking of, a big part of my Star Wars adventure this past week was if you're in the St. Louis area, I highly, highly recommend checking out Saga Toys in South County because they have every Star Wars toy you could possibly think of and more. Like, they have literally everything. They have a whole aisle dedicated to just Black Series figures. They have their whole back wall is just all Star Wars action figures from like the beginning of Star Wars to the prequel era. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. And I could have spent well over hundreds of dollars there if I wanted to, but yeah, I've been trying to. There's other life things that I have to take care of. If during any time this episode, if you hear weird stuff in my background, it's because about a foot behind me is a cage full of 2 guinea pigs. So you're probably hearing that and some squealing. You're probably going to hear.
I haven't heard anything yet, but now that I know,
you're going to.
I'm going to be on the lookout. Yeah.
But yeah, we'll have to post some photos or something from Saga Toy because it was hard to not get so many things, and I was gonna get you a couple things too because you requested. You're like, I probably shouldn't.
But you know what? I'm going Sunday, so
yeah, there you go.
And I plan to blow my own money.
I ended up getting a pair of Han Solo and Lando from Solo, and those are on. We're not recording video on this one, but those are over on my shelf over there. And yeah, that was a big part of my week in Star Wars. Because I went twice in the past week. Because
that's cool.
A friend of the show, Steven, he took me, and I was like, okay, well, let's look at this toy place. I don't know what's going to be there. And lo and behold, it was as cool as it was. And I was like, my fiance, I was like, Emma, you have to come look at this toy store. It is so cool because it's not just Star Wars. They have everything. They have Marvel. They have Funko Pops. They have like Spawn. They have McDonald's toys. It's so weird. It's so cool though. It's like the size of a Kmart. It's so cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, I think this, if there's nothing else that you have, I think we can probably get into our slow
news. Not a whole
news
lot. Just been reading, working on Bloodline, and then I think I'm going to read Heir to the Empire right after that. I'm about halfway through Bloodline. And yeah, that's just kind of been it. Just been getting that together. I'm refining my book list, kind of figuring out like what I view as essential and interesting. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
Let's hop into some news then. This is going to be a shorter episode.
This is going to be a really short episode, but both of the new stuff is really cool. Yeah. So it's actually stuff that we can talk about. So we'll start off a fun little report that has come out and been confirmed. The Obi-Wan Kenobi Rupert Friend has wrapped his filming. A new story from The Hollywood Reporter says that the actor has finished his part of the show already. Nothing else was revealed about the role, but I've been seeing some reports too that Kenobi itself has finished, and that it is getting itself kind of in the next phase of its production.
I don't know about that.
I don't know either, but I've been seeing stuff about that and all of that. But Yeah, so the series has been shooting for 3.5 months already, and they probably just do have some time ahead. But I've been seeing stuff that like they've been finishing a lot of the exterior areas, and that whatever that they have next is going to be kind of quick touch-ups that they have to finish.
Yes, well, I mean, when you've got like reportedly, this was a while ago, but apparently. There was a rumor that said they were set to wrap filming September 20th. So if they got like a month left, I'm sure they've gotten a lot of the important stuff shot at this point. This is their time for probably.
And they've done a tremendous job at hiding most of it. I don't think anyone has seen Hayden in the costume at all.
And we've only seen Ewan in a black robe.
Yeah. So with the stuff that we have seen, who knows how much they actually have done.
Do you have any? Do you have any speculation on who Rupert Friend, what kind of character he might be playing?
He may be. I wonder if he'll be someone on like Tatooine. If he's already done. If not, maybe he'd probably make a really good Imperial guard or like Imperial officer.
I was gonna say that I think they're going to bring in, this is just my speculation, but I think they're really going to bring in that all of the Imperial officers are going to give them a little more personality than they have, like kind of like how we see in Clone Wars and Rebels and stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's definitely a route they're going to go for this show. So it would be cool to see him play an Imperial officer.
Yeah. It'll be cool to see him regardless in it. But yeah, so that's that for that. And then what do we got next, which is our last news piece?
No, we got one more.
Do we got one more?
We got one more after this one. But if you didn't already know, I think this is kind of, everybody knows this. The official trailer for Star Wars Visions has dropped. I believe it dropped this morning, right?
Yeah.
At the time of this recording, Tuesday, August 17th. And we learned that the series will debut on September 22nd. And if you're listening to this and you don't really know what Star Wars Visions is, which I hope you do, it's just this non-canon reimagining of a Star Wars galaxy, and it is set to debut on September 22nd, like I just said. And it's going to feature 7 stories from 7 different Japanese anime studios.
It's 9 stories.
Sorry,
9 stories.
9 stories, 7 studios. And they did also announce the cast for a lot of the different shorts. And I'm going to kind of quickly go through just the English dub version of the cast list. So they have an English dub and they have a traditional Japanese cast for the Japanese version. So let me just go through. I'm just going to say the names, not who they play, because we don't really know a lot of these characters. So for the duel, we have Brian T, Lucy Liu, and Jaden Waldman. For the Tatooine Rhapsody, we have Joseph Gordon-Levitt playing a character called Jay, Bobby Moynihan playing Geezer, Tamara Morrison, Boba Fett, Shelby Young, and Mark Thompson. The short The Twins is going to feature Neil Patrick Harris, Allison Brie, and Jonathan Lipow. Wow. The Village Bride is going to feature Karen Fukuhara, Nicole Sakura, Christopher Sean, Kari Haruyuki Tagawa, Andrew Kishino, and Stephanie Shi. So it looks like they're also bringing in a lot of Asian American and traditionally Asian people to play also the English dub, which is really cool. I'm glad they're also doing that because it makes it feel a lot more authentic when you have actual Asian people doing the voices. And then for the Ninth Jedi, we have Kimiko Glenn, Andrew Kishino, Simu Liu, Masaoka, Greg Chun, Neil Kaplan, and Michael Sinter-Nicholas. I think I said that right. And then for TOB1, I think it's that one small droid short thing. We have Jaden Waldman and Kyle Chandler. And the Elder, we have David Harbour, which is really cool.
That'll
Jordan
be a good
Pfister
one too.
And James Hong. Yeah. Another short called Lop and Ocho is going to feature Anna Cathcart, Hiromi Dames, Paul Nakauchi. I'm butchering. I'm so sorry.
You're doing okay. Yeah.
And Kyle McCarley, little white boy. And then for the last short, we have Henry Golding, Jamie Chung, George Takai, Keon Young, and Lorraine Toussaint. I believe that's French. Anyway, that's kind of if you recognize some of those names, very cool. I'm glad they have such a diverse cast for all these different shorts.
I agree.
So cool. But what were kind of your thoughts and reaction to the trailer itself?
It looks rad as hell. That's the first thing I'll talk about. It really, every short seems to hold this brilliant sense of adventure. And I am just absolutely excited for it. Seeing it just made me so excited. It seems so creative, and it's going to be just a ton of fun. And I can't wait to see just each art style and just kind of how it is. And it's going to be a blast. No, it's been so much fun.
I'm really glad they're embracing the Kurosawa-ness of Star Wars, because they even showed like a little piece of it, like in the trailer they showed like a piece of a Kurosawa, like a 3-second thing. Yeah, I'm really glad they're embracing like all of these different studios and animation styles, and giving the option for the Japanese version as well as an English dub.
Yeah.
I'm really glad they're doing that. I wonder if, because it says it's non-canon, I'm wondering if there will be a way to work some, like if some of these stories like end up really being fan favorites, if there's a way to kind of work them into canon. I
think if they're able to explain it back enough, like it was like in olden times.
Well, because we have this Ronin book coming out. So yeah, who knows how they're going to expand on the Visions universe, because I think it's essentially just this separate universe in and of itself. But yeah, I think it would be really cool to see how they can expand up, or if we're going to get another season of this, if it does well.
That'd be cool too, just a different anthology.
Yeah, but overall, I think the trailer was super high energy, and it really gave us a taste of what is to come with this show, and I'm really excited to see what they did with it, because I've always seen all of these fan trailers on like Facebook and YouTube of like Star Wars animes. Like, do you see like those fan like anime intros for like Revenge of the Sith and stuff? It'll be cool to. I'm just excited to see something Star Wars anime, because I'm not a huge anime fan, but I wouldn't be surprised if something like this drew me into being interested in anime. But who knows?
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I think we can move on from there.
Just a little bit over a month, though.
That's right.
It'll be out so quick. So our last news piece today, I missed this when I first read the rundown, but I saw this on Twitter earlier, so it's really funny that I almost didn't mention it. Carl Weathers, who played Grief Karga in The Mandalorian, has confirmed that season 3 of The Mandalorian will start filming next month. That kind of goes on to on schedule with Kenobi finishing in about a month. So the actor-director who played Grief Karga in the first 2 seasons of the show recently had a panel at Steel City Con, and at the very end, he was asked about The Mandalorian. After telling the story of how his character came to be in the show, he confirmed that the new season will start shooting next month, and that he will be both in front and behind the camera. So we're getting another Carl Weathers directed episode, which was a really fun one from season 2. Quote, and so now we are going to start a new season of The Mandalorian in the next month, and I get to be in front of the camera again, and I get to direct again. So I hope you all stay on the lookout for it, watch it, and support it, end quote. Production Weekly said that they'd be filming at Manhattan Beach Studios, which is where Obi-Wan Kenobi has been filming for the past few weeks. Kenobi started shooting late April, early May, and some actors have already wrapped, like we just talked about. Rupert Friend and some others have finished up, which could be an indication filming for the limited series is nearing an end. These rough calculations match with the studio being freed up by September 20th, which could perhaps mark the start of Mando Season 3's production. I bet you probably at like the end of the month, that's when they'll start. Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking. Because they've been doing back to back with this production. They've been doing,
and I'm glad that Disney's kind of mastered that like self-isolated like perfect filmmaking machine that they can just pump everything out right away and keep on track. For the past,
since this year started, they have been in nonstop production with different shows. They have been like, they started the year with Book of Boba Fett, then went on to Kenobi, and now they're going on to Mando Season 3, and they also got Bad Batch going on meanwhile, and they've got Visions going on meanwhile. So yeah, busy times for Lucasfilm.
Busy boys. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. It'll be a great time. So I'm glad that they're able to keep on track, even though the status of the world is in a very frightening era right now.
I think it's staying at regular COVID tests, even if you are vaccinated, and
And the film world really has done a great job at keeping together during all of this.
Everyone's masked up on set, and everything I've seen has been really safe, which is very good to see.
I agree.
What can you? So we have Mando coming up probably in the next month or so. Mando season 3 filming. When do you think they're gonna start with like Ahsoka and are we ever gonna hear anything?
Probably after Mando season 3. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking once Mando season 3 ends, that's their 2022 year, and then they can work. They can because then Mando will probably finish like.
You hear that?
There they are, yeah.
Totally.
I'm thinking Mando will finish at like March or April, and then they can get that'll be like done post-production by the end of the year, so they can work all of that like summertime. I bet you they'll film Ahsoka in the summertime.
Mm-hmm. And I also forgot to mention Andor. Andor is also...
Oh, yeah. That's also...
I think they wrapped filming... What was it, like around April or May when they wrapped?
Yeah.
Because it's supposed to be out spring next year, I believe. And then we also... I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. I would not be surprised if we get Mando Season 3 Christmas 2022. Like around that time.
That's kind of what we've talked about is Christmas time. And then, by that time, I bet you Ahsoka is going to be done filming. Yeah. And it is post-production. And then I bet you start 2023 with Ahsoka.
That'd be cool. Yeah. And then at the end of 2023, we got Rogue Squadron. And it's a good time to be a Star Wars fan. That's all I'm saying.
It's a good time to be a Star Wars fan.
It's a good time to be a Star Wars fan.
It's too much Star Wars.
Yeah. No such thing as too much Star Wars.
Yeah, right.
Well, cool. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this shorter news episode. I know we usually go for a little bit longer on these, but not much news, unfortunately. Hopefully we get a heavier week next week. But if you would like to catch up on our social medias and find us, you can find us on Instagram at Through Imperial Eyes Pod, Twitter at Imperial Eyes Pod, and YouTube Through Imperial Eyes Podcast. Jackson, where can they find you?
As always, you can find me on Twitter, which is at QuacksonScaling. That's QUACKSON, and then scaling like the triangle. And then follow my photography Instagram at Deleen_photography, which is DALEEN_photography. I just put out a new set of pictures I did a Euphoria shoot and just finished those pictures. So at the time of recording this, I'm like going to be posting those, but when this comes out, they will be posted. So check that out and give it a like. Give it a like.
Well, as always, you can find me on my Instagram at braydonleadbetter and on Twitter at braydonleadbetter. If you're going to find out what I'm watching, what I'm reviewing, you just hit up my Letterboxd at bleadbetter. Follow me there, and it's going to be kind of slow for the podcast for the next couple of weeks because we don't have Bad Batch. We're not doing Canteen anymore. Book Club won't be happening until next month. So it'll be a little bit slower with just news episodes for a little bit until things start to wind back up. So, be on the lookout for next week's news episode. And if you haven't already, check out our Apple Podcast. Leave that rating, leave that review. Really helps out. Apple Podcast. And then if you don't have Apple Podcast, definitely check out our Spotify, Anchor, whatever else you got. Leave that review and subscribe. It really helps out the show if you do that. And I think that's just about does us. So until next week with some more news, may the Force be with you.
With you.